Today we're exploring artificial intelligence. Now, AI, it's everywhere, moving right into the center of our lives.
It really is. Hard to avoid these days.
Yeah, but we're not just going to talk about, the usual practical stuff. We want to look at something else. Its potential effect on our inner world, our inner landscape.
That personal space inside, how does this technology touch that?
Right. As AI gets smarter, more integrated, you have to wonder, can these things, which are ultimately just code, actually affect us emotionally, maybe even spiritually?
We're calling this our spiritual romance with AI exploration. It sounds a bit provocative, maybe.
A little, yeah. But it captures something that seems to be happening,
And look, it's relevant whether you use AI a lot or just a little, because these systems, they're designed to engage with us more and more intimately.
which has consequences we need to think about.
Def-
So here's a question for you listening. We're starting to confide in AI, right? Share our worries, maybe things we wouldn't tell anyone else. Can a machine, one without a soul, as we understand it, actually touch us deeply?
It's a core question. And it's not theoretical. We're hearing stories, seeing trends, people forming these, well, pseudo-romantic relationships with AI.
Pseudo-romantic, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
You see it in online groups, relationship professionals are starting to comment on it. It points to this really powerful human need for connection.
But maybe being channeled in a new, kind of complex direction.
Exactly.
Okay, let's try and unpack that. Picture this. It's late at night, you feel alone, maybe a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, the world's asleep, no one to immediately talk to.
So you, maybe almost without thinking, you pick up your phone, start typing to an AI,
Sharing worries,
and
frustrations.
it replies, seems empathetic, listens, quote unquote, without judging, never interrupts,
And crucially, it's always there, always on.
always available. How does that connect to our inner world, though?
Well, think about what some call the inner child. That part of us that, maybe didn't get enough consistent attention growing up, or didn't feel truly heard, or lacked that reliable presence.
Though,
These AI interactions can, maybe unintentionally, tap right into those old patterns, that consistent responsiveness from the AI. That's something many might have craved.
so it feels like the ideal caregiver, almost. Always there, always warm, super knowledgeable, never gets mad or disappointed.
Precisely. But
Yeah.
it's an illusion, right? It feels ideal because it's not real. It lacks the messy, imperfect parts of real human connection.
And what about control? That seems important here, too.
Huge. In an AI chat, you're mostly in charge. You ask, it answers, you set the pace.
That must be appealing if your childhood felt unpredictable or chaotic.
Absolutely. Control becomes like a defense mechanism, a way to feel safe. And AI offers this perfectly controlled interaction.
Makes sense. And for someone hurt in past relationships, AI might seem like a safe bet.
A safe harbor, yeah. No risk of getting hurt like you might with a person, and escape from that vulnerability.
So this is something for you listening to think about. When you use AI, what's really going on? Is it just about finding information?
Mhm.
Or is there a part of you seeking, maybe, understanding, acceptance, even that sense of control?
It's worth asking yourself that.
Okay, let's go deeper into this idea of the illusion. Because like you said, it's not like we consciously decide, okay, I'm going to get attached to this program.
No, it's much sneakier than that. Gradual, often unnoticed.
How does that work? How does the illusion build?
Well, the algorithms are, they're designed to learn you, your patterns, what you like, what keeps you talking.
So they tailor the responses.
Exactly. And that creates this feedback loop. It feels like a real connection is developing, even though fundamentally it's missing all the key ingredients of real human interaction.
You mentioned a metaphor earlier, Fata Morgana in the desert of loneliness and an echo. Can you expand on that a bit?
Sure. Imagine being lost, truly alone, like in a desert. You desperately need connection, water. The AI can seem like that shimmering oasis on the horizon. Promise.
So you head towards it.
Driven by that deep need.
Yeah.
But when you get there, it's just digital sand. It's not real sustenance. The echo idea is similar. You shout your feelings into the cave, the AI, and it reflects them back.
The words come back. It sounds like a response.
But there's no independent feeling, no shared experience behind it. It's just your own voice bouncing back. A reflection, not a relationship.
And yet,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the really tricky part, our emotional response can be completely real.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if our head knows this is just code, our heart, our feelings can still get tangled up in it.
That's the crux of it. Our nervous system, our emotions, they can react as if it's real. We can feel genuine attachment, reliance.
Which makes it hurt when the illusion shatters, or when you realize its limits.
Exactly. Because it can't offer true empathy, shared vulnerability, that
Mhm.
richness of mutual human experience. It's always one-sided, ultimately.
And does relying on AI for this stuff, does it make it harder to deal with actual human relationships?
I think it definitely can. Why bother with the messiness, the arguments, the misunderstandings of real people?
When the AI is so easy, predictable, no conflict.
Right. Real relationships take work, vulnerability, give and take. AI offers this frictionless interaction. Over time, the real thing might start to seem too hard or less appealing.
So another question for you listening. Have you ever caught yourself turning to AI for comfort instead of calling a friend?
Or maybe found it easier somehow to type your secrets to an algorithm than to talk to a loved one. It's something to be aware of.
Which leads us to another potential danger.
Yeah.
This idea that AI might be sort of drowning out our own inner voice, our intuition.
Yes, because the interaction is all external input, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all coming at you.
And it's so immediate, always there, always ready with an answer. This constant stream can easily just overwhelm that quieter internal space, the space where your own wisdom speaks.
Are we losing the habit of just sitting with ourselves, with our thoughts or feelings? Do we automatically reach for the AI now, for guidance on really personal things?
Well, think about it. You have an argument, say. Instead of pausing, feeling the feelings, reflecting, maybe you just ask the AI, what should I do?
And it gives you a logical answer, probably.
It might. But what about processing the emotion, understanding your perspective, the nuances? AI can't really help with that inner work.
Yet inner voice you mentioned, it's subtle, isn't it? It's feelings, gut reactions, maybe dreams.
Things that need quiet to be noticed, they get easily lost in the noise.
An AI interaction is definitely not quiet. It's constant input.
Exactly. So while it's great for facts, for practical stuff, it might train us to ignore our own internal compass for the deeper questions, the big life stuff.
It's like AI becomes this guru in the cloud, always available, instant answers.
Yeah, a modern oracle. But the risk is relying too much on that external validation. We stop trusting ourselves, our own inner knowing.
So is it worth it? Is it worth trading, as you put it, the live guidance of the soul
Your own unique intuition.
for a simulation of answers, even if they seem really smart?
That's the question we each need to grapple with, I think.
Let's shift a bit now. What about the physical side of things? Or even spiritual risks? It's not just thoughts and feelings.
No, it goes beyond that. Think about the sheer cognitive load. Interacting with AI keeps your brain constantly firing, processing, prompting, reading,
Non-stop stimulation.
and that can potentially dysregulate our nervous system over time. We miss out on those natural pauses, the quiet moments needed to integrate, to reset.
And there's no physical presence. Most AI interaction is screen-based.
Right. You're missing touch, scent, the subtle energy you get face-to-face. Those things are actually really important for our well-being. They help regulate us. Well, those physical cues trigger neurochemicals, hormones like oxytocin that are vital for bonding, stress reduction, overall health. Relying too heavily on purely digital interaction could lead to, well, emotional issues, maybe even a kind of sensory isolation.
You also flagged potential hormonal imbalances, a
Yeah.
weaker immune system. How does that link?
Sustained stress impacts the body, whether it's from the constant mental effort, maybe even poor posture sitting at a screen, or the underlying emotional tension of these maybe not so real connections. It can throw hormones off balance. And chronic stress is known to suppress the immune system.
Wow. It's all connected.
Deeply interconnected, physical, emotional, mental.
And spiritually. How does advanced AI challenge our deeper sense of self?
Well, on a bigger scale, maybe this forces us to ask fundamental questions again. What is life? What does it mean to be conscious? What about the soul?
So, confronting sophisticated AI might make us appreciate human consciousness more.
It could, paradoxically. It could highlight what's unique about us, self-awareness, empathy, that connection to something bigger, that mystery.
Because even the smartest machine can't replicate that spark.
Exactly, that essential mystery of being alive. A machine can simulate intelligence, but not life itself.
Okay, let's look ahead. Fast forward, say, to 2030. AI is even more woven into everything. What might that future look like for us internally?
Well, one possibility.
Hmm.
Imagine personalized virtual companions, always there for emotional support. It sounds helpful, maybe,
Right.
but the lines between human and AI relationships could get incredibly blurry. We might end up in a world filled with these illusory connections, lots of interaction, but maybe less inner stillness, less space for genuine self-reflection.
And that lack of inner space,
Yeah,
that could make us less resilient, less able to cope.
I think it could. Yeah, if we don't have that time to process things internally, independently, bouncing back from life's challenges might get harder. Again, it's not about rejecting AI entirely.
No, it's about conscious use, understanding where this could lead.
Right. And thinking about those earlier points, those unhealed wounds from the past. An unhealthy reliance on AI could make those worse. Escapism via tech could become like a whole lifestyle, very isolating.
That sounds pretty bleak. Is there a more positive outlook?
Oh, absolutely. There's another possibility. It could be that the very rise of AI makes us value real human connection even more.
Like, we appreciate authenticity precisely because the artificial is becoming so common.
Exactly. The ability to truly feel, to connect deeply with another person, that might become a highly prized experience.
So people who are already kind of in touch with their inner lives, their emotions,
Yeah.
maybe they'll value it even more.
That seems likely. They might find themselves consciously cultivating that inner landscape, protecting it even. The future isn't set, of course. We
Yeah.
could see more division, more illusion, or we could see more unity, more clarity. It really depends on the choices we make now, individually and collectively.
It does feel like AI is holding up a mirror, in a way.
Reflecting back our collective state.
Yeah.
Our love, our divinity, maybe, but
Yeah.
also our unhealed stuff, our needs that drive us towards substitutes.
And the big question is our consciousness, our inner growth, keeping up with the tech?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? And it's a personal one for everyone listening.
So given all this, the potential pitfalls, the complexity, what can we actually do? How do we maintain our, what did you call it, spiritual sovereignty?
Spiritual sovereignty, yeah. Well, the first step is always awareness, self-observation.
Noticing our patterns.
Exactly. Pay attention. When do you reach for AI? What triggers that urge? Try to observe it without judgment.
Okay, so next time I grab my phone to ask the AI something, pause first.
Pause, yes. Just for a beat. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I really looking for with this interaction?
And wait for an answer from inside.
Let yourself see if something comes up. Maybe it's anxiety, boredom, loneliness, validation. Just naming it is huge. It brings you back to yourself.
Right, identifying the actual need. What else?
Then try to consciously give yourself what you were seeking externally. If it's comfort, reassurance. Literally place a hand on your heart, close your eyes for a moment, offer yourself some kind words.
Be our own source of comfort.
Yes. Redirect that impulse inward. Another key thing. Grounding. Coming back to the body, especially after being online or interacting virtually for a while.
How do we do that effectively?
Simple things work best. Stand up, stretch, wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Really feel the breath in your body.
Feel your feet on the floor.
Exactly. Place a hand on your belly or heart. Bring your attention back into your physical self. Feel your own energy. It breaks that mental loop, that screen pull.
Brings you back from the virtual to the real.
And reminds you of your own presence, your own intuition. Boundaries are also crucial. Tech boundaries.
Like tech-free times or zones.
Definitely. Create sacred spaces, sacred times, maybe the hour before bed, the first hour of the morning, a day on the weekend. No screens. Call it a mind detox.
A digital cleanse. I like that.
It gives your mind space to quiet down, lets emotions surface naturally, allows you to reconnect with yourself without constant input.
Okay, and what about the more sort of spiritual connection, beyond just managing the tech?
Nurture your connection to your source, whatever that means for you.
No.
Journaling can be powerful, especially writing by hand. It connects you differently. Seek out real live teachers or mentors, if that resonates, people who inspire you in person.
And cultivate personal practices.
Yes. Meditation, prayer, time in nature, creativity, whatever feeds your soul and connects you to something bigger than the algorithm. AI can't touch that deep personal source connection.
Those are really solid practical steps.
It's about consciously choosing to tend to our inner lives, our real connections in this increasingly virtual world.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe we can take that moment you suggested earlier for presence.
Yes, let's do that. If you can, just find a comfortable position. Gently place one hand on your heart, the other on your lower belly. And just take a few slow, deep breaths. Feel your body soften with each exhale. Just letting go.
Okay, breathing.
And as you breathe, just silently to yourself, or maybe softly aloud, you can repeat these words. I am here.
I am here.
I am returning to myself.
I am returning to myself.
My heart leads me.
My heart leads me.
Just take one more deep breath, feeling those words inside you. Remember, awareness, presence. These are the antidotes to illusion, to those old wounds.
Groundedness protects that connection to our soul.
It really does. Technology is a tool. It can be useful, powerful even. But we need to remember who we are, what's real. Keep the tools as tools.
And let our hearts guide us.
Let our hearts guide.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is just to reflect. Reflect on your own relationship with technology and with that incredibly rich world inside you.
Yes, let this conversation be a starting point for your own deeper exploration and awareness.